Have you ever stumbled upon a rumor so wild, so unbelievable that it lingers in your mind demanding answers? Sometimes, a story is so outrageous, so far-fetched, that you can't help but wonder, could there be a grain of truth hidden beneath the surface? These are the tales that spark our curiosity, urging us to dig deeper, to look beyond the obvious, and to question what we think we know. In a remote corner of the world, far from the bustling cities and the glare of modern life, one such rumor has taken root. The story goes that you can buy a wife for just $35, a claim that seems almost impossible in today's world. It's the kind of tale that makes you pause, raise an eyebrow, and wonder what's really going on in these hidden places. Headlines like these are designed to shock and fascinate. They spread like wildfire online, capturing imaginations and fueling debates. But behind every sensational headline, there's often a more complex reality waiting to be uncovered. The internet loves a good scandal, but as we all know, the truth is rarely as simple or as scandalous as it first appears. As a traveler, I've learned that the most dramatic stories are often just the tip of the iceberg. The real story, the one that matters, is usually hidden beneath layers of culture, history, and human experience. That's why I set out on this journey, not to chase a headline, but to seek understanding, to listen, and to learn from the people who live these stories every day. My goal wasn't to confirm a scandal or to pass judgment. Instead, I wanted to meet the families, talk to the elders, and hear firsthand what this rumor really means to them. What I discovered was far more nuanced than any headline could ever capture. Is this really about buying a wife, or is there a deeper story at play? Is it about family ties, community traditions, and the ways people support each other in challenging times? Sometimes, what looks like a simple transaction from the outside is actually a complex web of relationships, responsibilities, and cultural values. To truly understand, we have to look beyond the clickbait and the stereotypes. We need to see these traditions through the eyes of those who live them, to appreciate the meaning and the history that shaped their lives. Only then can we begin to grasp the real story, one that's about resilience, connection, and the enduring power of community. We're here to learn, not to judge. Our role is to listen with open minds and open hearts, to respect the people who share their stories with us, and to remember that every culture has its own way of navigating life's challenges. This is a story of survival, identity, and love, woven together in ways you might never expect. It's about the choices people make, the bonds they form, and the traditions that help them endure. So let's set aside our assumptions and discover the truth behind the rumor, together. The rumor comes from Kyrgyzstan, where the so-called $35 wife is a misinterpretation of kalam, or bride price. Kalam isn't about buying a person. It's a symbolic gesture rooted in respect and tradition. The small sum often mentioned is just one part of a much larger, carefully negotiated exchange, usually involving livestock. Kalim is a way for the groom's family to show they can provide for the bride and honor her family. It's not a commercial transaction, but a cultural one, a public promise of care and commitment. Reducing it to a price tag misses the point entirely. The real value lies in the relationships and responsibilities it represents. Understanding this is the first step to appreciating the culture. It's about seeing the humanity, not just the headline. To truly understand Kalim, you must first immerse yourself in the breathtaking landscapes of Kyrgyzstan, a country defined by its soaring mountains, endless green pastures, and the timeless presence of yurts scattered across the land. Here, the rhythm of life is set by the seasons, and the connection between people and nature is unbreakable. The land itself shapes the traditions, values, and daily routines of its people, and nowhere is this more evident than in the practice of Kalim. In these rural villages, traditions like Kalim are not just stories passed down, they are living customs, woven seamlessly into the fabric of everyday life. From the way families gather outside their yurts to share meals, to the rituals that mark important milestones, Kalim is ever present, guiding relationships and shaping the future. Family and community are the foundation of Kyrgyz society. Here, survival and happiness depend on strong social bonds, mutual support, and a deep sense of belonging. Generations live and work side by side, passing down wisdom, skills, and values that have endured for centuries. Kalim, the tradition of offering gifts, often livestock or valuables during marriage, is a practical and meaningful custom. It is not just a transaction but a symbol of honor, respect, and commitment between families. The exchange is a celebration, a public declaration of unity and goodwill. Inside a yurt, as bread is broken and stories are shared, you begin to understand that wealth here is not measured in money, but in livestock, land, and reputation. The stories told by elders are filled with lessons about generosity, responsibility, and the importance of maintaining harmony within the community. For a young man, preparing a worthy kalim is a rite of passage. It demonstrates his ability to provide, his respect for tradition, and his dedication to his future wife and her family. The animals he offers are more than gifts. They are a testament to his character and his readiness to take on new responsibilities. The exchange of kalim is a moment of pride and emotion for both families. Elders, dressed in traditional clothing, witness the handshake or embrace that seals the agreement. It is a time of joy, honor, and deep connection as two families become one. To truly grasp the meaning of kalim, you must experience not only the stunning landscape, but also the warmth and hospitality of the Kyrgyz people. Visitors are welcomed with open arms, offered tea, and invited to share in the customs that define this unique culture. Only by witnessing daily life in Kyrgyzstan, where family, tradition, and the land are inseparable, can you begin to see how kalim fits into the very fabric of Kyrgyz life, connecting past and present and ensuring the strength of the community for generations to come. Kalim's roots run deep in Central Asian history long before money was common. Livestock, horses, sheep were the currency of survival and alliance. The exchange of kalim was a serious contract, forging bonds and ensuring stability between families and clans. It was social insurance, a way to build resilient communities in a harsh world. Even during the Soviet era, when such traditions were discouraged, kalim persisted underground. After independence, it re-emerged, adapting to modern times with money sometimes replacing livestock. Kalim is a living tradition, shaped by history and environment. It's a symbol of Kyrgyz identity and pride, not a simple transaction. To dismiss it as buying a wife ignores its rich, complex past. Understanding this legacy helps us respect the present. To truly understand kalim, you have to listen to the people who live it every day. Their voices, their stories, and their experiences reveal the heart of this tradition in ways that no textbook or outsider's perspective ever could. In the villages and towns where kalim is practiced, it is woven into the fabric of daily life, shaping relationships and expectations across generations. Askar, a respected elder in his community, shared his perspective with me. He said, "It's not a sale, it's respect." For him, kalim is not about exchanging money or goods for a bride, but about honoring the families involved and upholding a sense of dignity and tradition. He remembers how, in his youth, the entire village would come together to witness the giving of kalim, seeing it as a moment of unity and shared joy. Askar's family once gave livestock to their new in-laws, not as a payment, but as a gesture of goodwill and a promise that their daughter-in-law would be cherished and cared for. The animals represented more than wealth. They were a symbol of trust, respect, and the joining of two families. The ceremony was filled with laughter, music, and heartfelt speeches, reminding everyone of the importance of community bonds. For Gulnara, a young bride, kalim meant something deeply personal. She saw it as validation, proof that her husband's family valued her and took the marriage seriously. The gifts and ceremonies made her feel welcomed and respected, not just by her new family, but by the entire community. It was a moment of pride, a public affirmation of her worth, and the love that brought two families together. For her, the tradition brought a sense of security and belonging. She felt uplifted by the support of her relatives and neighbors, knowing that her marriage was celebrated and her future was being invested in by so many. But for a young man preparing for marriage, saving for kalim can be a heavy burden. Many work long hours in the fields or take on extra jobs, determined to meet the expectations set by tradition. For them, it's a challenge they feel they must overcome to begin their married life with honor and pride. The pressure can be intense, but so is the desire to fulfill their role and earn the respect of both families. These stories reveal the complexity of kalim. It's about respect, pride, and obligation, but also about love, sacrifice, and the deep connections that bind families and communities together. Each person's experience is unique, shaped by their hopes, fears, and dreams for the future. Kalim is not a crude transaction, but a tradition deeply tied to family and community. It is a living practice, evolving with each generation, yet still rooted in the values of honor, generosity, and togetherness. The ceremonies and celebrations are moments of joy, but also reminders of the responsibilities that come with marriage. The pressures are real and sometimes overwhelming, but so is the sense of belonging and commitment that Kalim fosters. Friends and relatives rally around each couple, offering support, advice, and encouragement. In these moments, the true meaning of Kalim shines through. It is about building a foundation for a shared future, supported by the love and strength of the entire community. Each voice adds nuance, showing that Kalim is far more than a headline or a stereotype. It is a living tradition, full of contradictions and complexities, shaped by the people who practice it and the values they hold dear. These are stories of love, duty, and cultural pride. Stories that deserve to be told and understood in all their richness and depth. They deserve to be heard with empathy, with open hearts and minds, so that we can appreciate the beauty and challenges of traditions like Kalim and the people whose lives they shape. Kalim's impact on women is complex. From the outside it can seem objectifying, but many Kyrgyz women see it as protection and a mark of their value. A high Kalim can bring pressure, but it also elevates a woman's status and deters mistreatment. The tradition strengthens family and community ties, with elders negotiating the terms. Marriage becomes a public alliance, not just a private affair. This communal process creates a vital social safety net in rural Kyrgyzstan. The effects aren't universally positive or negative, they're nuanced. For many, Kalim is a source of pride and security. The key is to listen to Kyrgyz women and understand their perspectives. The exchange of wealth in marriage isn't unique to Kyrgyzstan. Across the world, traditions like dowry in India or lobola in Africa serve similar purposes, cementing alliances and showing commitment. These customs are not purchases but symbolic gestures of respect and union. Even in Western history, dowries and marriage negotiations shaped alliances and family fortunes. Today, echoes remain in who pays for weddings or brings gifts. Kalim is just one variation on a universal theme, using ritual and exchange to formalize marriage and unite families. These practices are the language of social contract, not commerce. They show that marriage matters to the whole community, not just the couple. We've come full circle, from a shocking headline to a deeper understanding. The $35 wife story is a distortion, erasing the dignity and meaning behind Kalim. True travel is about seeking understanding, not judgment. Empathy means trying to see the world through others' eyes, even when customs seem strange. We must ask, what does this mean to those who practice it? How does it serve their community? By asking deeper questions, we move from judgment to connection. We see the people, not just the practice. Let's replace sensationalism with sensitivity and judgment with empathy. The world is complex, let's honor that complexity. Our journey into Kalim is a lesson in how to engage with the world. Connection without understanding breeds stereotypes and prejudice. When you travel, do so with curiosity and an open heart. Listen to local voices, seek out the real stories and look beyond headlines. Support creators who approach cultures with respect and nuance. If you hear a rumor, pause and ask, what's the bigger story? Who gets to tell it? Let's end not with judgment, but with reflection. The $35 wife is a myth. The people and their traditions are real. Honor them by seeking truth with kindness and traveling with your heart wide open. Be curious, be kind, and never stop exploring.